From one trailblazer to a competition full of them. Our female rugby league stars getting their chance to shine once again at Sydney's ANZ Stadium today. The NRLW Grand Final. The Broncos chasing the three-peat, the Roosters chasing an upset. And to take you through every moment of it, it's a very good afternoon. Matthew Thompson.
Good afternoon, James. Good afternoon, wherever you're watching us right around Australia. It is great that we've even arrived at Grand Final day. That was doubtful a few months back. But the NRLW Grand Final is about to take centre stage. The third renewal of the Grand Final between a team, as we know, the Broncos, that have easily won the first two Grand Finals, against the Roosters, who make it back here to the Grand Final after their first appearance in 2018 and failing to win a game last season. It's been a good revival from a Roosters side, which sealed its place in the decider with victories in the opening two rounds of the competition. They met last week, these two teams. It was a victory for the Broncos, 24-16, but the Roosters are bolstered today by the returns of two players that were rested last week, Hannah Southwell and Samaima Taufa, one of the premier middle forwards in Women's Rugby League, and the fullback, Bovette Welsh, has come back from injury too after being hurt in the first game of the season. All three of those players are Gillaroos reps, so it is a very big boost for this Roosters team. Alana Ferguson, Ryan Sims, welcome. It is an exciting day for women's footy.
Very exciting, Tomo. Cannot wait. It looks like the rain's really come down there, so I'm looking forward to seeing, as we see Ali Brigginshaw lead the Brisbane Broncos, just how they handle this wet weather. There's a couple of brilliant game managers out there today, and I already spoke about Ali Brigginshaw. The other person is Zahara Tamara, so a lot in their hands just to see how they handle these tricky situations and these conditions. But I'm backing both women to do well for their sides. That's
named Dally M Women's Player of the Year on Monday night, Ali Brigginshaw. She is the star of the women's game. I've got to say though, Ruan, Taryn Aiken, isn't she making a mark?
She certainly is, and we see with the team list, we saw that Brigginshaw has moved to that traditional lock role and Aiken has moved back out a little bit wider. I think it's a very smart move by Kelvin Wright. I like it when Ali gets her hands on the ball early in the game and gets involved nice and early, so that is a huge bonus for them. Also, as we spoke about, three big bonuses for the Roosters. Their middle D is going to need to be up to it this afternoon.
They won last week, Brisbane, and last season they had a 20-0 victory over the Roosters. They've got a bit of a gap to make up here, but the grand final is underway and there's some physical defence to start. Strong tackle, Zahara Tamara involved in the Roosters' defensive line there. Hanisi wearing 10, she's a great defender. There's another great tackle. And that's Sarah Togatuki dishing up some punishment there. On Talisha Harden, Brisbane, they have a very good set of middle forwards, and an early kick here by Lauren Brown, who has spent some time on the wing this season, moved into the dummy half role last week, did a good job. And Bovette Welsh, she just juggled that in the wet conditions.
Well, an early test there as well for Bo's hamstring. Lauren Brown kicked it and said, chase this one, see how you go, as the Broncos middle forwards now dishing out a little bit of their own punishment, getting it back on the Roosters.
This is Yasmin Meeks now in jumper number 4. Good strong defence by Amber Hall, who missed last week because of suspension. She's a really powerful edge back rower. That's Southwell in the headgear. Tackled by Millie Boyle midfield, and they go over into Brisbane's half now. This is a good start from the Roosters. Good physical defence, and on the back of that, they've run strongly here. Hanisi tackled on the Broncos 40. A kick now by Zahara Tamara, down for Tamika Upton, who made her mark on the NRLW on Grand Final Day last year. She was called in as a late replacement. We got Freddie with us, a touchline for the NRLW decider in the clean zone. You've even got a camera strapped to you, Brad. It's all happening.
Yeah, the camera's coming, but absolutely, it's where you want to be on Grand Final Day. Give you an update on the conditions. There's been 35 mil already. But as of last week, they've cut an extra 4 mil. That's why it looks so slick and the ground is hard. As they dried it out during the week in anticipation of all this rain, they've done a brilliant job.
So you're thinking what, if it's sort of nuisance rain, you don't expect it'll have too much of an impact on both games?
Absolutely not. I think what the thing is you've got to do in the rain is you've got to pass the ball It's a lot easier to defend in the rain than attack. But you've got to back your nerve and pass the ball. Try to get as many one-on-one tackles as you can. Speed to play the ball up for yourself.
Good on you, Brad. Good to have you with us here. And the Roosters back up to the halfway now. They've dominated territory in the early exchanges.
I think what they're dominating, Tomo, is that intensity. Their first defensive set was really strong and they just haven't lost any of that intensity just yet. Unfortunately, they cough up an error, and this is where we can see the Brisbane Broncos work their way into the game.
Well, Brad spoke about wanting to move the ball in this weather. I think late passing at the line early in the half might not be the way to go. When you're really pushing like this, I think you just want to try and poke your nose through, get a quick play the ball, and then play off the back of it, because that's what they did in the first few minutes, and they were very successful at it. As the Broncos now look to set up a different sort of scrum. They're going to set up on the 20-metre tram line out on the edge there, so it gives them a lot of space out to their left.
Brigginshaw with the feed. Racine McGregor for Upton. And Hall now playing at 10 short of the halfway. And here's the gun. Taryn Aiken straight through. Good start, Aiken, and a try coming up for Tamika Upton. But Taryn Aiken, we highlighted her in the run-on. She is some talent, and she set up the first try of the grand final.
She's one of my favourite players to watch, Taryn Aiken. I've loved seeing her really take control of the attack on this left edge, but she's always such a genuine running threat. I find it very hard to believe that the Roosters didn't have someone in front of her to take her out of the equation. As we see here on the Harvey Norman replay, Tamika Upton, just the perfect person for support play. She's always pushing with that play, but set up brilliantly by Taryn Aiken. And a great pass back on the inside too, timed and executed perfectly.
Well, Tamika Upton is just, again, always pushing up, finding herself in the right position, makes the kick and the conversion for Meg Ward, who's been really great with her conversions this year, a lot easier. But that edge defence there for the Roosters, that is really disappointing signs that it's cracked so early in the game. They were so dominant. Here on the Telstra tracker, Taryn Aiken hit 28 k's an hour, just really pushing through, pouring through that gap. And I really love Tamika Upton's support play. Her primary support is just exemplary. She's a great little player, but at the Roosters, that edge defence really needs to tighten up.
Yes, well, all the attention would be on Brigginshaw, understandably, but they've got multiple threats across the park, and Aiken has made her mark already on the grand final. Meg Ward's missed one goal in the competition so far, so on that basis she should have no problems. From right in front, the Broncos 6-0. For 3 straight premierships, and the Broncos are out to the best possible start here, 6 points to 0 after the Roosters had the better of the opening minutes. That's what they can do, this championship team, and here's Millie Boyle, a big part of it. Down to Brad.
Yeah, just having a look at the Broncos attack then, where they got that pass away and got that one-on-one tackle, quick play of the ball, and had the Roosters on their heels. That's going to be the key in this weather, getting the defence on their heels, having fast people run at you. Fantastic job. And if you notice the goalpost, when the goal kick went through, they shone nice, beautiful neon green. How fantastic.
Hey, Freddie, what's the intensity like down there from both sides?
It was awesome. I love watching teams run out. And I haven't really been up close to the girls when they run out, but you can see it in their eyes, you know, just what it means and how fair dinkum they are. A few of them are a bit more relaxed than others, and I think by now all that tension will be out of the body and be back to a game of footy.
Here's Brigginshaw. Now this is a tester in the wet conditions. Good take at the back there by Vete Welsh. Did a hamstring in the opening game and has done well to rehab and get back here on grand final day. She's on her own 20-metre line. Tackle made by Shazolka. And a good front-on shot there as well. Shannon Martor, who was very distractive in the early part of the game last week when they met. Shanice Parker centre field, 15 short of the halfway. Maynard for Tamara. And the Roosters edging closer to the halfway. They're over it now. Zahara Tamara, she's got a lot of time as a ball player. Leading point scorer for the Roosters in the competition. Little sisters in the opposition today as well. Shantae Tamara, we'll see her later. And here's Upton. Tackled by Maynard. And Julie Robinson, vastly experienced footballer. And she's causing a few issues there with that run. Just short of the halfway. And they go over into Roosters territory now. And this is Talisha Harden. They've got some power on those edges, haven't they? With Hall on one side and Harden on the other. We've got a problem. Is that Corbin McGregor?
Yeah, that's Corbin McGregor. She went down out there on that right edge after a nasty tackle.
All right. And she's their captain, and that's a real issue. Another classy pass by Aiken. Oh, she's carving them up with a ball playing, and the Broncos have got another one.
Well, Tomo, Belinda Sharp points at the mark, gives the 4 points as Corbin McGregor, the captain, limps just around halfway, heading towards her team. But here we're watching here on the Harvey Norman replay, some nice ball playing again by Aiken, pushing through the line. Amber Hall, she's such a big, strong, powerful runner. She's very, very difficult to contain. We saw in the first 2 games just how destructive she can be. But the thing for me, I thought coming into this game, it was going to be one through the middle. At the moment, the Roosters' edge defence is just cracking under pressure. On the opposite side, where Captain McGregor was injured, we saw a break. Earlier in the game off the try, we saw a break again. Down this same side, another try. The right edge defence for the Roosters really need to have a good hard think and settle down.
The Roosters just need to move up that little bit quicker, take the time and space. Taryn Aiken had all the time in the world then to do whatever she wanted with the footy. Just watch her how she's able to go to the line. Amber Hall is so damaging, and there was no one standing in front of her to try and stop her. That entire set, I thought the Roosters were just too slow to move up. They had quick results off the back of it, the Broncos, and their attack just opens right up. Those options are too easy to pick from.
All right, Meg Ward, she is a sharp shooter, but in the rain, this is a difficult assignment. It's starting to come back for her. She's kicked it from the touchline.
Stand here, Zahara. Stay on side.
Well, the Roosters were looking for a good start to put Brisbane under pressure. The opposite's happened. The champs are running right here. 12-0. Freddie, they are some team, this Brisbane side, aren't they?
Oh, they're sligging. What they're doing, they're using the ball. And on the back of what Alana said, the right side just need to tighten up. The one thing they won't be able to do is throw the long pass. That's going to be tough in these conditions. Just won't be getting that accuracy or speed to get it out to the winger. So if they tighten up and just try to encourage them to throw over the top, that's the best ploy I'd say from this side, especially marking Amber Hall. She looks like a handful.
Yeah, you can see the completions, 5 from 5. So it has been a perfect performance in terms of ball control. Again, you can see Hall sucking in the defence, and she shows a bit of skill on the back of that. With an offload for Julia Robinson. Away to Aiken, what a start. Then Brigginshaw. And here's Millie Boyle. Put down on the halfway line. Tackle made by Philomena Hanisi. Kick finds Vete Welsh on the full. Can the Roosters string a set together and try and get a bit of control back in this game? 12-0, it's not out of the question, but if they're not the next to score, you'd say they find themselves in a bit of bother, the Roosters. Here's Shanice Parker. And now Zahara Tamara taking it upon herself to run out of dummy half, and she does well too.
I think this is one of their strengths, the Roosters, when they start their sets with those outside backs.
There's a helping hand.
Too slow.
This will definitely help. The start of the game, I thought the Roosters defensively were really getting up in the face of the Broncos, and they were creating a lot of havoc for them. They were really dominating that field possession. Off the back of an error, it has just been all the Broncos, and that's what you can't do. You can't give a good team easy possession. Now they'll find themselves straight into their good ball set and see if they can come up with some points off the back of it.
There's a good way to start it. Togatuki with a barnstorming run. Oh, we're offside from the restart. Don't see that very often. She's built low to the ground, Sarah Togatuki, but that was a determined run. And here's another one. Nisi with the run that time. Here's Taufa, hasn't seen the ball so far. Only a metre out. This is the Roosters' chance to get themselves back in the game, right under the black dot. Maynard, away to Melanie Howard. She plays the cutout ball. Yasmin Meeks has Broncos jumpers right around her. Play to Howard. Maynard out to first receiver. This is Southwell almost through half a hole. That was an important try-saving tackle by Harden. Maynard. She goes right once again. Howard with a smart kick. Oh, Broncos player fell over. That was Shazolka, but she was able to scramble and the ball is sent over the back. That's better.
This is much, much better stuff here from the Tricolours. Good touches throughout that entire piece by Mel Howard. As we go to Brad on the sideline, that must have been a lovely kick in these conditions, Brad.
Yeah, it was, and it was forced kick by the defence of the Broncos. Like we were talking about what the Roosters should be doing. The winger of the Broncos was in 20 metres, and there was still 3 Roosters outside, just realising that she could hold her and race it to the corner post if she has to. So really smart defence from the Broncos.
Nisi loves the tough stuff. And she's dragged down 18 out. Harden the tackler. Maynard plays left and Zahara Tamara. How about that? That was a kamikaze run by Togatuki. She's running with real purpose. Oh, but she's lost the ball.
Will they challenge it, I wonder?
Ellie? Yep.
Indeed.
Well, I didn't get a good look at this in real time, so we'll see what they come out with.
Roosters disputing the decision of knock on. Yep.
Important call this, because a bit of momentum starting to fall the Roosters' way. Brigginshaw and Brown, the tacklers. Well, I don't think the ball's been lost at all, has it?
No,
it looks fine.
That looked fine. I didn't see any separation. She did slightly touch the ball to play it, so it's all legal so far, but it's whether she's actually got to her feet to play this ball, but that wasn't the call from the referee. So
that all looks fine.
Unless they're talking about in the tackle she loses it. However, looking like that, she regathered it into contact.
Maybe it's there. Oh, we can't see anything, but...
Possession is maintained through the process by the ball carrier. There's no knock-on on the ground. The challenge by the Roosters is successful.
Good challenge.
Yeah,
Very good challenge. Close to the line as well. They'll get the ball back straight into their attacking position.
The Broncos' defence has had a breather, though, while we've been waiting for all of that. As the rain really starts to tumble here at ANZ. The Roosters looking to strike a blow here in the grand final. Sahara Tamara out to Howard. The halves combining now. Here's a chance. Yes, Roosters try. Yasmin Meeks scores on grand final day.
Well, that's just a result of playing footy up the right end of the field. I love that the
Behind the goal, this should be awesome watching this.
Don't get too close.
But what I did notice was they just got someone one-on-one. It was a cold miss. Jasmine Meeks did a fantastic job with it in away, a nice palm and kept it balanced. But it ended up coming down just to a cold miss. And if you can just get people one-on-one and give them an opportunity to beat their opposite, that normally wins you the big games.
And here the rain falling on Brad's brolly down there too. It's got a bit heavier in the last 10 minutes.
Zahara can't hear me either, by the way.
Good.
Couple of breaths. Strikes it. Oh, just to the right.
Well, she struck that beautiful but just wide of the uprights. Zahara Tamara. Score remains the Broncos winning 12-4. Beautiful try by the Sydney Roosters. And a short time ago, we'll see on our big screens, number 15 is on the field for the Sydney Roosters. The Rookie of the Year in the NRLW, Kennedy Charrington.
Stay on side.
There's a big play by the Roosters. Yasmin Meeks, the try scorer. They've got some points on the
Stay
board.
outside.
That'll settle the nerves somewhat after a blistering Broncos start here in the NRLW Grand Final. They met in the first Grand Final in 2018.
There's a couple of changes on the field for the Roosters as well. Kennedy Charrington and Quincy Dodd are out there for the tricolours, and we've seen what both of them can do off the bench. They bring a lot of spark, a lot of fire, and Charrington especially has great footwork in the line.
Yeah, and Dodd, we saw in the match last week between the two teams, provided a real spark from dummy half. You can see there, she's just running forwards onto the ball, though the defence was waiting that time. What a good tackle with Boyle and Hall. Very strong.
See, that's a matchup I'd be looking for all day. Get Foliaki one-on-one with Aiken on the edge there. Try and force a hand.
Kick by Howard down a narrow right-hand channel, and it takes a break over the touchline. That's a good set after points by the Roosters. Let's see if their defence can force some kind of error out of this Broncos outfit which won the first Grand Final they played in 2018, 34-12, and 30 points to 6 last year.
Well, Matt, just looking here on the Telstra tracker of intensity, Shanice Parker, Lauren Brown and Semaima Taufa. Semaima representing the middles up there. You can just see how much work they've got done in the time they've had out there on the field. Even in these conditions, there has been a lot of intensity and not too many errors, which makes for really great viewing.
Oh, there's a chance offload. It was well done, actually, because they're going to gain, what, an extra 10, 15 metres now. McGregor is tackled. And a penalty to Brisbane. Well, that is not what the Roosters were hoping for. Score a try and then win some territorial superiority with that kick for touch, but they've given it away.
Well, we've got just over 10 minutes left in this first half. This is when we'll start to see that fatigue set in the last 10 minutes. Hopefully those errors don't creep into the game because, as Roo said, we've had a pretty free-flowing game and it's brought in some brilliant footy.
Brown for Chelsea, Lenarduzzi. What a game last week she had. She was just about unstoppable at times, and you'd have to say these heavy conditions would favour a power runner like her too. Here's Brigginshaw with the first assault on the defence. And taken by Southwell in centre field. Brown for Aiken. Good defensive read that time. The try scorer Meeks up quickly. Made the tackle on Amber Hall, who's been excellent this afternoon. And now Boyle, put down on tackle 5. Brown, Brigginshaw, high cross kick towards the wing, but there was no one contesting the ball there for Brisbane. Roosters win it back. And there's Corbin McGregor.
It's good to see her still out there on the field. She didn't succumb to that ankle injury, and they need her out there because she provides a lot of leadership, and she also provides another ball-playing ability for the Tricolours.
Telstra is proud to be the naming rights partner of the NRL Telstra Women's Premiership. And as we saw at the start of our coverage of the grand final, hasn't the women's game come a long way? Lovely words there by Wayne Beachley, the 7 times world surfing champion, to bring us into the game. Highly appropriate. She's a Manly fan, though. Sorry, Lane. No Seagull representation on grand final day this year. Do you think maybe the Manly fans would be supporting the Roosters today because they're both Sydney teams, or do you think that's highly unlikely?
I don't know. I think just fans of rugby league will be supporting today's game because it is a pure football. Just out there seeing how much they love the contact, how much they get into it. As Jamie Freshard winds up, it's the first time we've really seen her with the ball in her hands, but I think they'll just be loving the contact, loving the skill sets and loving the decision making.
Sydney v Brisbane here, Sydney v Melbourne later. Panthers carrying the weight of expectation of New South Wales. Good defensive read, that one. Bridie Parker rushing in off the wing. Tackle made on Robinson. Here's the last. Brown for Brigginshaw. She took a couple of extra steps, didn't get a clean strike on that. Oh, it's landed in no man's land. That's dangerous. And the Roosters have just got the ball back. Played here by Howard.
Most of these Roosters women are just in that middle third of the field at the moment. They just look like they just want to go straight through them at the moment. Ali Brigginshaw's
got it back. They were all waiting for a whistle and they got one.
I was waiting for the whistle too.
Talk about a whistle after the fact.
She must have got a call from one of her touch judges because I was thinking the same thing. I thought, hang on a minute, did she just get nailed in a good tackle or did she get this cleared? We'll see this here on the replay. Ali Brigginshaw's got a great handle on the ball.
Second tackler just
just came in, but geez, having your ribs exposed like that, getting a little tickler, whew, I don't miss that. What about you, Alana?
Not at all. I don't miss much of the contact, to be brutally honest with you, Roo.
So 30-minute halves in NRLW. Just over 8.5 left until the break.
So this is a good position to attack from. 40 metres out, getting it on an edge. You can really test the middle, push it out wide and then test them back through the middle again. See if they really track well, if they release well the defensive line, or whether they get a little bit lazy and try and stand still.
Another mistake.
No, you just lost that.
Conceding a penalty in defence last time they were down here, and now in possession, a knock on in the play the ball.
Looks like they're going to challenge this one again, Tomo.
Yeah, knock on. Knock on. Horse. Challenge, Corbin. Challenging the decision of knock on. Correct.
Well, it's the same player from earlier in the game. We'll see if she got it right this time as well.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair call. Knock on.
That's just the danger of putting the ball on the ground to lever yourself up instead of getting up and playing the ball first. So I think, unfortunately, the Roosters will lose their captain's challenge. How do you see it, Freddie?
Well, I know they got the earlier one right.
The ball is lost by the Roosters player in possession. No interference from the Brisbane Broncos. The challenge is unsuccessful.
I think the women should follow the men's rule that no front rowers or wingers get to challenge from now on.
She was a second rower though, Freddie.
Second rower. They're close together. They're right next to each other.
Nothing over the number 7 and nothing before the number 6 is what you're saying.
That's it. Just barred, totally barred. They've lost their licence.
Good run. Amber Hall. And here's Aiken. Oh, swarmed on by some good solid defence there. Yasmin Meeks, the most recent try scorer. Brigginshaw for Boyle. Great athlete. Tackle made by Kennedy Cherrington, who's had a wonderful season. Here's Hall at it again. Offload. Back for Brown. And away for Boyle. Cherrington in there in 15. Grace Hamilton, the 16, out there as well. 2 for the Roosters. Play for Brigginshaw for McGregor. And Harden gets us to tackle 5 now. Short side, oh, lovely hands. Brigginshaw to McGregor. But Fressard is knocked over in some good Roosters defence. That was nice skill, though, in the wet conditions.
Geez, that was lovely.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful short side raid. I don't know if we can see a replay of that, but that was some slick hands in a very short space in very wet and slippery conditions. Here we go. We see Lauren Brown with a low pass out of the dummy half, but lovely hands here, and Racine McGregor gets a lovely pass out to Fressard. But the Roosters now, they're stuck down in their own 25 metres. The defence from the Broncos has been great, and the middle for the Broncos, the offloads, are causing huge dramas for the Roosters.
Yeah, this is a Broncos team on a mission here. Look at them racing off the line. That's an excellent run, though, to relieve some pressure.
Well, they're just smothering them, the Broncos. They at least get 2, sometimes 3 people in those tackles, and that's what slows these Roosters women down.
Here's Renee Welsh with all of her pace and all of her class, tries to stand up the fullback in Upton, who comes to make the tackle. But that's an inspired run by Bovete Welsh. The Roosters now through Tamara. It wasn't a great pass to Howard. She sends a kick towards Parker. Oh, the bounce just sat there for Shizelka, who has diffused what would have been a brilliant Roosters try.
Well, here we go. We're going to watch this. Zahara comes up with a beautiful pass, but Bo Vete, while showing no issues from that hamstring injury from game 1, really strided out absolutely beautifully. And then what you want to do when you make a break down one side of the field, you need to shift it to the opposite side, because all of the defence has crammed towards you. The space is opposite of where you made that break, and it almost paid off. The pass just went behind Howard. I would have liked to have seen her get that on the chest and give her more opportunity.
Oh, another great charge. She's had a great game. Toga for the Roosters. Nearly scores, can you believe? Gets within 2 metres of the line from the restart. Tamara Burrows just short. This is a resurgence from the Roosters, who have scored the try. They've gone back to back now. Great stuff.
Well, that was all off the back of Bovete's Welsh that got the Roosters that good field position. Mel Howard forced a little bit of pressure. They were able to get a repeat set, and then Togadugi, this run is sensational. As we see on the Harvey Norman replay, she nearly went over herself. That momentum that she gained, and then off the back of it, a quick play the ball. Quincy Dodd, she's known for her little dummy half scoots, but the Brisbane Broncos caught napping, just marking that defence there. Freddie, how did you see it down there?
Well, it's a bit like Rue, the break from Vete Welsh. The thing that I love was the footwork once she come through the line. What it'll do is all those boys that are watching it, it'll give them confidence in the game later on that although there's a lot of rain around, the surface is beautiful and firm. And I've been watching Quincy Dodd on the sideline as she was warming up, just passing the ball, and you see when she gets on, just a deception around the ruck's pretty impressive. So what a great minute for the Roosters.
I love watching Quincy Dodd play, as we're just seeing her go over the line again. This is the 3rd time this year that she has scored a try from this position. So the Broncos would have known this. They would have done their homework on it. But when you execute something so well and you want it that badly, you get over the line. And she is a little firecracker. She's been wonderful for the Tricolours off the bench as Zahara Tamara lines up a kick. A little bit of another tough one for her. But, Brad, you're in a different position to the last kick.
Yeah, I get to see it from a different angle. I'm going to try to walk down. I'm not going to run in case I slip. I've got the going out shoes on at the moment. Should have wore the footy boots. They strike the bell well.
Great kick.
Oh, yeah. The game's 2 points.
And it's game on. Broncos now lead 12 points to 10. Well done to the Sydney Roosters. Back-to-back tries against the Brisbane Broncos. There is Quincy Dodd. What a 2020 she's had.
This is a great resurgence by the Roosters. They were down 12-0 against the Broncos team, hoping to win 3 premierships straight. There's now only a conversion in it. 12-10, and you'd have to say momentum now with the tricolours. Played by Hamilton. Here goes Southwell. 15 short of the halfway line in the centre of the park. Quincy Dodd, she's been a real wild card since she's come out there. She's had a huge hand in this turnaround. Grace Hamilton played the ball. And Cherrington tackled strongly by Millie Boyle. Half-time, 2.5 minutes away. Third tackle, strong run by Cowper. Roosters penalty too.
It's not quick.
This has turned right around.
Well, hasn't it? And it is no surprise that it's come off the back, as you said, the bench players that have come on. Quincy Dodd has been fantastic. Grace Hamilton has added a lot of leg speed once she got out there. And now, 20 metres out, we find the Roosters in a really great attacking position. We've seen how dangerous they are close to the line. Can they breach it again?
Yes, the Broncos have only lost one match in NRLW competition history, but they have a real fight on their hands now in the decider. Southwell sprints into the defence. Lenarduzzi made the tackle. That's the goal line. Here's Quincy Dodd. Lovely pass away to Tamara. Long ball for Vete Welsh. Here's McGregor. Just had a juggle. And she's going to be pushed towards the sideline. Flops it over the top. Back to Vete Welsh. Some ad-lib stuff by the Roosters. They might be hard to hold out here.
Harlem Globetrotters stuff, Tomo.
Yeah. Good to watch. Good freedom in NRLW. Tamara, third tackle, kicks it through, gets a rebound. Robinson makes a desperate tackle here, but Brisbane's defence in all sorts. 6 more tackles. Oh no, they made a mistake, but I think that's a Broncos knock on. Oh, the ball was loose. The Broncos could have just dived on that, but there's been an error, and the Roosters, with less than a minute left until half-time, have one last throw.
Well, the pressure, the sustained pressure that the Roosters have been placing on the Broncos is really starting to happen. I didn't see a knock-on at all from the Broncos, so I'm surprised, or it came off a leg. So I was surprised that the Broncos didn't choose to captain's challenge that one. However, now...
Let's go.
Yeah, it was when the knock-on was when the Broncos defender tried to dive on it on the ground.
Oh, see, I thought it came off a leg, so I obviously wasn't watching clearly.
Well, who knows, Rue? We'll have to look at the replay, but the referee's decision stands. No one challenged it, and this is Meeks. 30 seconds until the break. Can the Roosters go in with the lead here? Howard, they're very deep. Tamara, oh, there's a chance to kick here. They've got unmarked numbers out left. She decided not to. 20 seconds until half-time. Tamara playing it. Dodd to Howard with an inside pass for Hamilton. That's a great tackle to jolt the ball out. And the Broncos...
And look how excited they are, Tomo.
They'll be relieved to get to the half-time break, though, I reckon.
Oh, they will. However, they'll take a lot of heart out of that. You can see how much that meant to them. They knew that the Roosters were on the push. They knew they were under pressure. But their defence out wide really shot up and shut down any opportunity they were trying to get. And you can see what this means to the Broncos.
Some heavy legs for both teams, but at half-time in the NRLW Grand Final, Broncos 12, Roosters 10.
Welcome back to Nine's coverage of NRL Grand Final Day. It will be a COVID-safe sellout of 40,000 at ANZ Stadium tonight, and great to see so many fans braving the rain. There's plenty of it falling and plenty of it to come. Who have you got? Smith and his Storm team, or what about that Cleary combination of Ivan and Nathan? Can they guide the Panthers to a drought-breaking title tonight? For now, though, it's the second half of the NRLW decider. The Broncos with a 2-point lead over the Roosters. It's over to Matthew Thompson and the kickoff.
Thanks, Brace. This is just how we like a grand final. Nothing in it as we head into the final half of the season. They've made a muck up there off the kickoff, but that was a good pickup in the end, and an even better return by Grace Hamilton. So the Roosters and the Broncos, only a conversion separating them. Brisbane led 12-0, but the Roosters, very brave. They scored back-to-back tries to end the first half. And Quincy Dodd in 14 has been a big part of this comeback. Hannah Southwell, who was rested last week, has also been good. She plays it here on the 30-metre line.
Hannah Southwell's made a brilliant impact being back. I think that's one of the things that got the Roosters back into this game, the strength of their middles, pushing up in defence, and then also when they have the footy, just controlling it and getting their team on the front foot.
Zahara Tamara, plenty of air under that ball. Down to Meg Ward. Good kick chase there by the Roosters. The Broncos super boot. Meg Ward tackled just outside the 30-metre line. Shamika Upton. Is she the one to break this grand final open? She's had a wonderful season in the NRLW. Robinson now. This is a great defensive set by the Roosters. 3 tackles gone. They've only made 8 metres so far. Taryn Aitken for Amber Hall. It's been a potent combination in the match to date.
Well, the Roosters definitely starting the second half off the way they finished the first, really getting up in the face of the Broncos, making them a little bit uncomfortable. Some great defence again. Taufa one-on-one with her opposite number 8, Millie Boyle, shutting it down there. We'll see them try and get some pressure on the kick. Tamara, good stuff.
Oh, is there a hand on that? Went back, says the referee. That was a good break there for the Roosters. Shanice Parker. Tackle made by Harden. Now McGregor. Shoved back. Leonarduzzi up in the firing line with Millie Boyle. Brad, nothing in this now.
I'll just walk them down the sideline, but tell them to come down soon.
Pressure.
All right, I think the rain's playing havoc with our communications. Freddie, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Gotcha, loud and clear now.
I've got the little GoPro going, so I'm marching up and down the sideline. A little bit of mud
really?
on the sideline, actually, so I'm sure the field won't get like that before the main game. The one thing that's happening over the day, as his ball doesn't find touch, is that breeze is coming from the south, and that's getting stronger as the day and night goes on. So the Roosters should be able to get benefit from that, which they didn't just then, but it might play a big part in the men's grand final.
So what, you got a GoPro, where it was strapped to your chest, is it?
Yep, strapped to the chest.
Wow.
This is as close as you get.
Gee. Well, we'll get a bird's eye view in the clean zone, as we call it. You would have read during the week, Freddie's he's in the Origin bubble, but he's in an extended bubble to be sidelined with us tonight, which is great. Penalty to Brisbane on tackle 4.
Well, there was a beautiful surging run there by Talisha Harden, really pushing her nose through, and it was a bootlaces tackle there. And unfortunately, the Roosters give the penalty away. We saw in the first half the Roosters started really well, then made an error close to their own line, turned over possession. The Broncos made them pay. We've seen a similar start here in the second 30. Wondering if the Roosters' defensive line can really maintain their integrity or whether they'll bow.
All right, there's a hand on that ball. Zahara Tamara. It was a first tackle anyway, so the Broncos will have a chance here for more points on the 20-metre line. Ball played by Friesard. And here's Harden. They can't put her on the ground. Almost in the centre of the field now on the 20-metre line. Leonarduzzi. Such a powerful front rower. And they play left. Here's Ellie Brigginshaw. Short pass for Hall. She's been one of the best players out there so far. Couple of metres out from the line. Big test for the Roosters now. This is grand final intensity. And Leonarduzzi. Oh, she's no chance of being stopped from there.
Well, we saw her do this last week. When she came on the field, she brought energy, she brought enthusiasm, she brought footwork, she was offloading the ball, she was in absolutely everything. As we see here on the Harvey Norman replay, it was a lovely little turn under there by Lauren Brown, jumping out at half, engaging the first 2 markers, really dragging them away from the play the ball, and just against the grain, in traffic, one-on-one tackle. You are not going to stop Leonarduzzi from that close to the line. She's so powerful. And again, obviously, she started the game off the bench today. Would have been disappointed to lose her starting role, but she has played her position to perfection when she's been asked to.
I thought the 2 key women involved in the lead up to that try were Amber Hall and Leonarduzzi. They're the 2 women that can set that platform. They've both got great little offloads for that second phase footy, but getting Amber Hall the ball first, perfect pass selection from Taryn Aitken, as we see here on the replay. Then Lenarduzzi gets it off a quick play, the ball brought back through the inside, through the middle. It's just clever from the Broncos playing that close to the line. The pass selection to those two women just causes all sorts of stress to that Roosters defence.
There's Ali Brigginshaw, the skipper in the middle, barking the instructions. And they've arrested a bit of that momentum the Roosters had established with that try. What a prospect Chelsea Lenarduzzi is. And a super boot to make it an 8-point gap. Just leaves it outright.
The conversion unsuccessful. The first miss of the afternoon. Here's another replay. Lenarduzzi. Billy Boyle also scores the kick. Playing from offline as well. Score remains.
Okay, staying on side here.
16 points to 10.
Hold for us there, Shanice. Right there for us, Sarah. Stay on
The
side.
second goal that Meg Ward has missed all season, and I'm just wondering if that might be a costly miss. 16-10, that tantalising 6-point gap. Oh, mistake by McGregor from the kickoff.
And Hannah Southwell, we don't see, not a noted kicker of the football, has been doing the restarts here for the Roosters, comes up with a lovely kick there, and unfortunately for McGregor, it just got away from her in flight, went straight through the hands, bounced forward. Brad, did you see that on the sideline?
Not really. I was just recovering and running back up the sideline at the prime spot in front of Meg Ward's kick. But it sort of brought back memories of poor old Ben Hunt. Dropped the kick off. Oh, sorry, Ben, for bringing it up.
All right, let's see if the Roosters can make Brisbane pay for that. Howard, Vivette Welsh. They got plenty of pace out in the back line. She's been brilliant. Vivette Welsh wasn't supposed to even be playing this afternoon, but a late inclusion from injury. Quincy Dodd for Howard. She takes them on herself. Good front on defence there. Tamika Upton, the fullback, in the main line. Little short side dash now by Dodd. They saw it coming. Aitken, good tackle. 3 tackles down now. Howard finds Taufa. There's no way through there. Dodd for Howard for Tamara. She plays out the back. Vete Welsh left one behind. Out for McGregor now. That's well read. Gee, they're well organised in defence too, the Broncos, aren't they? Ward coming in to help shut that play down, and a mistake.
Well, there was a bit of miscommunication there because I don't think Vete Welsh realised it was the last tackle because she threw it to a hard-running Salatongatuki. But she was running a lead runner, so she was just trying to create a little bit of space for her kicker behind her, and unfortunately you can see the look on Zahara Tamara's face. She knew it was meant for her. She knows this is a missed opportunity for the Roosters, and now the Broncos, even though they're in yardage, as Alana alluded to at the start of the game, they work through their yardage sets really, really well and get themselves into a good attacking position.
All right, the Broncos hoping to at least get through this set hassle-free. The Roosters will be trying to rush up and force a mistake in the wet conditions. That's an excellent run. Talisha Harden playing the ball. And here's Lenarduzzi. Tokatuki again around the waist there in conjunction with Southwell. Brown finds Boyle. And this is more Brisbane-like. They just power forward through the centre of the park. Now Brown, plenty of pace. Oh, that was a no-win pass, that one.
Well, it's left a Bronco on the ground in the middle of the park here, Tomo, and there's a lot of gesticulation from the Broncos players. There's a lovely kick is put down the short side, but cleaned up absolutely beautifully by Vivette Welsh and chased by none other, Ali Brigginshaw. But that Bronco is still down, and the trainer has actually called for the game to stop. Is it Meg Ward or Lauren Brown?
Might be Brown. And it's Lauren Brown. She was the one that threw that pass that was so well taken by Upton. There it is.
Oh, a head clash.
Yeah. That's a
See, I thought the Broncos were unfortunate earlier, just before that tackle occurred, I thought a penalty might have been coming their way because the Roosters defender had a second dig at the person who was getting up to play the ball. And an unfortunate head clash here sees Lauren Brown down on the ground. But a good read in defence there by Zahara Tamara.
That's a huge loss for the Broncos if Lauren Brown has to be taken from the game for a HIA. I think her pass selection's been brilliant from that hooking role. She was the one that actually brought Lenarduzzi back on the inside to go over for their last points. She's a brilliant footy player. She's got a sevens background. She's got such a great read on the game. She's very quick and speedy in and around the ruck. So hopefully we get a little bit of good news.
Shantae Tamara, a regular dummy half, is on the bench and is just getting ready in case. A reminder too, the 2020 Women's State of Origin kicks off on November 13, being played in Queensland for the first time at the Sunshine Coast Stadium with strict limitations on capacity. If you want to go, you've got to get your tickets now. NRL.com/tickets. Don't miss out. Women's Origin has been a wonderful spectacle the last couple of years. Just over 20 left in the grand final. We're in the championship rounds now. And Southwell ducks out of the tackle of Lenarduzzi, but the reinforcements have come in. Howard shows it inward and plays outward. Jemima Taufa, wearing number 8, but has played largely in that edge forward role. Now Dodd with a kick. It ends up well for Brisbane. It came off the back of Amber Hall.
Turned quickly and caught it before it hit the deck. We see a big tackle by Southwell in the middle.
She's a great defender.
That's why she got Tackle of the Year, Tomo.
Oh, yeah.
She's so good. I was speaking to her just before the game, actually, and I just said, is there anything you want to do out there today? She said, yeah, a couple of big hits. She loves it.
Tick. And Boyle has lost it. It's Southwell again.
Well, Tomo, you mentioned that Taufa has been playing on that right edge, which we have seen Vanessa Foliaki fill that role most of this season. So I'm wondering if there's an injury to her. We might see if Freddie can get some inside scoop from the Roosters to see if Foliaki is injured or whether it is just a straight changeover.
I'll get back down to Freddie in a moment, but that's an uncharacteristic error there from Millie Boyle, but it's just it's the tackle pressure of Southwell. Brad, you got the scoop?
Yeah, got the scoop. She's okay. She's just sitting, waiting there patiently.
Okay. The Roosters now with a break from deep in their own half. The sideline's nearly there. Oh, desperate pass back, and they've recovered. Parker playing it. Tamara, the dummy half. Oh, look at the defence here for Brisbane. Driving tackle there. Brown, who's still out there, and Brigginshaw. Togatuki. What a big game. Lenarduzzi and Harden, the defenders. Converted try the difference in the grand final. Tamara out for Howard. Vete Welsh sweeping around the back. They had a 2-on-1 there, but the bow didn't pass. She's taken in the tackle of Aiken. Amber Hall helping out as well. 15 out from the line now. Here's Taufa. Brown around the legs. Lenarduzzi doing the holding work. Here's the last play. Down the right-hand short side. And a kick to the in goal. Not a great end to a set that showed a bit of promise.
No, I think the last pass might have been marginally forward as well, so this could be just what the Broncos need to get themselves out to the 20 and sprint off. I think it's Upton doing a big hit up through the middle.
She's in everything, isn't she?
Oh, she's so gutsy, Tomo.
Jamie Friesard. All right, now Lauren Brown's come off and Shantae Tamara is getting ready to go out there. So it's sisters opposing each other in a grand final. There's a good little subplot. Lenarduzzi over at the halfway. She wants an offload there. It's only tackle 2, Chelsea.
That's where she's so dangerous, though. She gets that arm free. She creates the second phase play, and it's just difficult to contain.
Amber Hall. Another savage run, and they'll get a penalty here.
Correct. Play the ball. That's because you're still in there.
I'm interested to see what Ali Brigginshaw does during this attacking set. They've got a little bit of good ball. She plays a pretty intelligent game. For the majority of that first half, a lot of Ali's concentration was on those fifth tackle options, and she did so well to kick to the corners and to build pressure, particularly at the beginning of the half. But this is that point in the game where she makes her mark on the game, and I'm just interested to see what she comes up with, because she's such a clever footy player.
Yeah, this is really make or break stuff right here. If Brisbane can score another try, if fancy, they might just have the big game experience to get home. Here's Boyle with a savage run. Look at that. She's up inside the 10. The Roosters defending, you think maybe for the game. And there's a great pass. You called it, Alana Brigginshaw to Talisha Harden. She was untouched in scoring that.
Well, that's all Ali Brigginshaw, and I've been watching her really closely because I love the way that she plays the game. She's been directing the players for the entire game, as we see here on the Harvey Norman replay, and this is what it leads to. Just that perfect outside runner running the perfect line, Talisha Harden, but the lead-up play by Ali Brigginshaw, you look at her eyes. She's watching the defenders. She knows where they are and what they're doing, and that pass selection is a direct result and a reaction to see that Zahara Tamara started fading out and the space for Talisha Harden to go straight through. That's clever football. I'm not surprised that Ali Brigginshaw was the one to stand up there, and I also believe that she's going to continue this and just keep breaking those Roosters' hearts.
Yeah, she's great to watch, Freddie, isn't she, Ali Brigginshaw?
Well, that's ball playing at its absolute best. In these conditions, to have your whole line moving with you, that means they trust you. Then to come up with the play at the line to throw the short pass is a huge risk. I've got to say, with that sliding defence, though, you've got to trust. And they wanted to slide off and look after their own players. They didn't worry about the ball. That's a risk when you've got sliding defence and you jam in tight. But she's a genius, Ali Brigginshaw. Just getting behind the Roosters camp at the moment, just trying to listen to the talk and see if they're confident, feel like they can get back into the game. There's still 14 minutes to go.
Here's Ward to the right of the posts. Oh, she missed another one. She doesn't normally miss. There's Freddie Cam as the Roosters run back to the centre. Gee, it's pretty heavy out there now, Brad. How's the surface? You're just in the in goal, we can see.
Yeah, I'm just walking across. A little bit of water and massing. I reckon there's been about 40 mil since last night. But they've done such a great job. If you watch the players have got great footwork. You saw them with the try. It's wonderful footwork. Changes the direction of going to help without a doubt. But I still think I'm going to get an opportunity to see some speed tonight. There's plenty of speedsters on show. They look fantastic in the big games when they get some space. And I don't think the conditions are going to hurt the speedmen.
So are you on either side of the argument as to who the wet weather favours in the grand final tonight, or do you think it sort of nullifies both teams?
Well, you know what? We'll favour the team that wins.
Thanks,
we'll work out a reason afterwards.
kidding.
But, well, here we go.
Oh, there's
a
an
Rooster
injury.
down at the moment.
All right, well, we'll get back to this.
But kicking, you got Nathan Cleary versus Cameron Smith. You got, possibly the best two kickers this year in brains. They kick early, both of them. The positioning of their kicks is always brilliant. Melbourne have a small bonus there, I believe, with Cameron Munster and also Jerome Hughes are kickers and quality kickers.
No. It's Sarah
Sorry to
Tomlin
interrupt, Brad.
who's been knocked over there. Friendly fire, not so friendly fire.
Oh, she copped a whack in the face from her own player, but then got caught up with her knee in the tackle. So she got knocked over by the tackle and then copped a bit of a head knock there. And then fortunately for the Roosters, they've actually got possession back here because there was an error in the tackle by Shante Tamara for the Broncos. So while Tongatuki gets it back into the line, gets a little bit of treatment, they've got time to just settle the nerves, have a think about what their next play is going to be, and they look like they're going to opt for a midfield scrum.
No clock. In we come.
Well, there is ample time.
Stay with the lock for me.
Well, we saw what they could do in a short period of time in the first half, so we know the attacking prowess is there, but defensively, the edges, both second rowers have scored tries.
Amazingly, it's the two conversions that Meg Ward would usually nail that have kept the Roosters in this game, you've got to say. And Vete, well, she has had a barnstorming game and a penalty here to the Roosters. I don't know if they even wanted that, did they?
No, I think they would have wanted to keep playing, Tomo, to be honest.
Broncos' defence was shot there.
Hang on, let me get
Well, Taryn Aiken, I think, grabbed her ponytail, which is why they've got that penalty from the hair pull, but Vete Welsh definitely had the momentum. She's been one of their most dangerous, especially in that broken play. She's a very hard play to stop. There it is. The hair pull.
Southwell gets up to Brisbane's 10. Hard on the tackler. Here's Maynard. That was came to a bit of a standstill, that play. And tackle made there by Hall. Zahara Tamara with a long ball. Shoots across the ground on the bounce. Parker now. Did a good job in heavy traffic. She's only 3 metres out from the line here. Oh no, Corbin McGregor lost it at dummy half.
Out here.
Oh, she was thinking about what she was going to do when she passed it instead of just concentrating on picking it up there. So the captain will be very disappointed with that error. But Foliaki is back on the field, which has pushed Taufa back into the middle. So that should bring a bit more hard running on the edge and a bit more starch up the middle for the Roosters. And Nita Maynard is also back on for Quincy Dodd, so she brings a lot of strike as well.
We're on the clock.
They'll be disappointed with that, the Roosters. I thought their attack was a little bit flat, so the pressure was always going to be on there. They just need to set themselves that little bit deeper and take the line on that way, rather than standing that close.
We were just talking about it there with Brad, but later tonight, we close out the NRL season as Ivan Cleary and his young Panthers take on Craig Bellamy's mighty Melbourne Storm in the grand final. Our live and exclusive coverage, you can only see it here on 9 from 6:30. Amber Hall, what a game she's had.
Well, the Roosters have to get 4 people in a tackle, and quite often the Broncos, maybe not with this field position, but quite often they throw the footy around that little bit more when Amber Hall sets it up for them.
Here's Annette Brander, who's only just come out onto the park, won the Karen Murphy medal, best player in the grand final last year. Rickenshaw.
The Broncos have only used 3 of their interchange. Elliston still hasn't seen a minute of football yet as their main playmaker gets caught with the ball on the last tackle, and it's a rushed kick by McGregor.
Gee, that was good by McGregor, wasn't it?
She finds some space and finds the touchline, gives the team a little bit of a breather and just chews up a little bit more of the clock. Pretty smart little finish.
So the Broncos, just over 10 minutes to go, have their 3rd consecutive premiership within reach. It's really quite amazing when you think they've only lost 1 game in this NRLW competition. I think it was a 2-point loss too, so they could be shooting at 100%. Here's Vete Welsh again, causing problems with the pace. Aiken made the tackle. Maynard, and here's Taufa. Southwell had a mighty game for the Roosters in attack and defence. She plays it quickly on the halfway, and Maynard, who can run. She takes a dash from dummy half, nearly through the line. Who was that? That was Millie Boyle with a legs tackle from behind. A crucial tackle by Boyle. They got some numbers though, the Roosters. The kick by Tamara, it'll go close to the sideline. Well done.
What a take. What
Zolka.
a take. Shazolka, that was absolutely beautiful. She read that in a lovely fashion. Oh, there's an error.
There's a mistake. Now the Roosters, surely to keep their premiership hopes alive, have got to score a try here. They would not have a better chance. Nisi with a venomous run. She's only 7 out from the line. We'll see the Broncos' premiership pedigree right here, defending their line. Great charge this time. Foliaki. Maynard. Taufa. Oh, that is a good old-fashioned hospital pass. And how's Anisi hold on to that?
She did so well. She was under a huge amount of pressure from the Broncos' defence. Amber Hall just pushing up in her face, working through the middle here as they shift through Tamara.
She kicks towards the in goal. Desperate Brisbane chase. They've grounded it in the in goal. Drop out coming.
Shot clock is on.
Well, they'll be happy that they got the repeat set, but they looked a little bit disorganised to me, the Roosters. It didn't look like they were working for anything, especially when they just threw that hospital ball in the middle of the field. They weren't setting up for anything. Zahara Tamara was out here on this left-hand edge. For me, they need to get a little bit of better shape,
Stay on side.
a little bit more depth, but take the line on. That's when they're the most dangerous. They need those ball players to take the line on, and then that's when you take players like Togatuki with you at speed to challenge the defensive line, because they did not look like they were under any pressure that last set.
All right, how's the fuel tank going for the Broncos? This is where you've got to find something in the big games. When you're under pressure, they've got to score 2 tries, the Roosters. But if they can just jag one here, you reckon there'd be some nerves creep into the Brisbane camp. Here's Maynard. This is Tamara with a beautiful pass to McGregor. What a tackle. Robinson, was it? No, it's Meg Ward rushing in from the wing.
Well, it was a lovely pass there.
Oh, look at that.
Her centre, Frezza, just got caught in on the ball player, thinking it was going to go to her. She wanted to jam her, but it was a lovely, lovely bit of footwork. And unfortunately there for the Roosters, it doesn't go to hand. But Broncos outside edge defence has been so strong for them today. We've spoken a lot about the middles and how tough they are, but their edge has been exemplary. Oh, we're going to have a look here on the Telstra tracker. Ali Brigginshaw, she's covered just over 4Ks. 3 sprints.
Oh, we got a forward pass call.
Oh, an error in yardage here for the Broncos.
How did that happen?
Where are we going? Where are we going? Middle, okay. Shot clock on.
Oh, I might go to Freddie here. It's just an open invitation for the Roosters to get back into this game at the moment.
There's twice the Broncos coming off their own line, going one out. Really dangerous when it's wet to go one out.
Tamara, McGregor again. Great defence out wide, and it's Hall once again with Freesard. A mistake by Tamara in the heavy conditions, and Brisbane, if they can get to a kick here and get it down the Roosters' end, they've got the game parcelled up.
Well, that was Ali Brigginshaw taking the game in her own hands. She shot up off the line then and put all the pressure in the world. We'll see here. Just watch at her. She's targeted Zahara Tamara. Zahara knew that Ali was coming then, and you can just tell by Ali's reaction that that is the exact result she was aiming for.
Back down to you, Freddie.
It was when they threw the last error, Vede Welsh overran Cord McGregor, and that spooked her from not doing it then. Just haven't quite got in sync tonight. The two on the left, Cord McGregor and Vede Welsh. I've got to say, the Broncos' right side defence has been outstanding.
Oh, yeah. A couple of big tackles to save tries. Shantae Tamara. And now Millie Boyle, who's gone the whole distance here again. What a great athlete she is. Up near her own 40-metre line. Plays it to Shantae Tamara. And now to Alicia Harden. And it's a safety first set for Brisbane. Precisely what was needed. And Brander goes into the Roosters' half. Brigginshaw, I think, will be the kicker. Now they go away from her to McGregor. And he wants the sideline with this. It's a great kick, isn't it? Right into the corner. And Vede Welsh is hit hard by Brigginshaw on kick chase.
Well, it was a beautifully weighted kick, and the chase by Frezza, the initial tackler, was really strong. And Racy McGregor knew that Ali was going to be screaming up through her inside, and she knew that she'd be able to put the pressure on it, as now Mel Howard finds a little bit of space through the middle.
Well, they've got to find a long-range effort here somehow to keep the game alive. Maynard. McGregor. She's impressive, Ray McGregor, isn't she? She sort of plays second fiddle to Brigginshaw and Aiken, but her kicking and her defence, it is a mistake-free. Always seems to make the right option. Zahara Tamara chips it over the top. And Meg Ward will be put down near her own 20-metre line.
Oh, as we see here, we saw Hannah Southwell and Jocelyn Kelleher get up gesticulating to the referee. There was a knock-on, but unfortunately it looks like Meg Ward has copped a bit of an injury here, so hopefully she's all right. But the Roosters, through the referee, has decided that they're got the ball, but they might be a captain's challenge here, Tomo.
By the Broncos
All right.
for the decision of knock on.
Yeah, there is a challenge.
Well, here in the tackle, it's 1-on-1 at the moment. 2 in the tackle. No, I think that's just jolted free. Unless they're deeming that Southwell might have played at it.
Well, hands knocked it out, but
I don't think she
in the
was
process of
playing
making
at
a
it.
tackle.
However, it's a smart challenge by the Broncos, even if it is unsuccessful. It chews up a little bit more time. They can regain their wits about them if they know that they are going to lose it. As Meg Ward is coming from the field, she's holding her head as well, but the referees are still, the bunker is still looking at this.
No intent to strip the ball from the Roosters. A loose carry by Brisbane. Challenge unsuccessful.
Okay. And Meg Ward, who's had a big game, but she hasn't been as accurate with the kicking as we've become used to, but defensively, he's had an excellent game on the wing, helped to save a couple of tries. They've got to find a try here. Right now, the Roosters. Here's Howard. Out to Vete Welsh. Oh, no, another shocking pass. And that one was knocked on by Meeks into the Brisbane defence.
Oh, how about the defence, though? The defence was right up in her face. They knew where the ball was going to go. As we see here on the replay, I feel like Bo should have backed herself. Julia Robinson had already turned her back on and knew that the pass was going to be moving out. She should have just taken the space, pushed up through her inside. Oh, you just see it opening up, but geez, that's a good read. It's a good read by Shazolka, who made the error earlier in the set, or 2 sets ago, and put her team under pressure, but she came up with the right decision there.
The Broncos, they have a 10-point margin. They've got to complete a set and get down the other end. It's been mistake riddled the last 10 minutes or so, and that's coincided with the rain really starting to pour down as Zahara Tamara puts in a big shot on Talisha Harden, who gets up and gives her a little wink. Well done. Now Millie Boyle. 18 short of the halfway. 3 tackles down for Brisbane. Aiken, who set up the first 2 tries. The Broncos stunned it out to a 12-0 lead. It was 12-10 at half-time, so this has been a hotly contested game. The Broncos, they've just got that touch of class. When things get in a precarious situation, they've got the players who can get them home. They're in a bit of a tangle here. They rush a kick away. And here's Bovette Welsh. Oh, kick chase by Tamika Upton, very good. The Broncos bench players are all to their feet now as Brigginshaw executes a charge down it. It bounces back to the Roosters, but I think they know they've got this one. It'll be the 3rd grand final win in a row.
Yes, I think they do. And the Roosters, they need to score in the next 15, 20 seconds and be able to get the ball back and get themselves into position. I think it could just be a bridge too far for the Tricolours. But the Broncos, again, we spoke about, they're showing just what composure they have, just what reserves they have. They have been outstanding.
Tamara throws it on the boot. Shazolka getting back there, and for the second time in this second half, she has defused a try.
Oh, we're just seeing an injury. Mel Howard has come from the field, just cradling that right arm. So Quincy Dodd will push into the half. She's played there before, but there is a minute 30 left on the clock. It's going to be a big defensive effort here. But the Broncos, I think we can pretty safely say that they've got this one wrapped up, Tomo.
Yeah, what a juggernaut they are, this Brisbane Broncos NRLW outfit. They've been tested today, though. Lauren Brown plays it, and Ray McGregor throws it on the boot. Parker with the catch. She's dragged back in some good kick chase defence. Less than a minute to go. It's been a long year for the Broncos boys, but the Broncos women's team continue to set the benchmark in this competition. Some frantic stuff here by the Roosters with 35 seconds left on the clock. Might have been forward from dummy half as McGregor throws a pass away. You can see the conditions are very trying. Oh, Quincy Dodd, that was neat. Came off literally the outer skin of a boot and went straight to a teammate. She's got it back here, Quincy. With less than 10 seconds to go, Chelsea Lenarduzzi's trying to rip it away from her, but she won't be able to. Last play of the grand final. Brisbane have got it won. Tamara puts a kick up. The catch is taken and the Broncos will celebrate another premiership win.
Well, what a juggernaut they are. We've spoken about just how good they've been. Their structure has been fantastic, but it's more so the way they've executed it. Today is not ideal conditions for running rugby league, but they went out there, they knew exactly what they needed to do. They pressured the Roosters throughout the middle, and they just came up with the right decision at the right time. We spoke about this. Champion teams do this. They find space, they find time, and they deserve that win. They have been the premier side in this competition for the last 3 years. They continue their onslaught. And the Roosters, well, look, they are obviously very disappointed what happened today. They had their own chances. They had a lot of opportunities. It wasn't as though they got blown off the park because they didn't have opportunity. It's just that they weren't able to execute it in these conditions the way that the Broncos did. And I tell you what, Tomo, I am really looking forward to seeing what Brisbane do to celebrate these women, because I know what they did last year, and they had a ticker tape parade. They had all signs up in the street. It was absolutely fantastic. And when we have a look here on our Telstra tracker, we see the distances covered here by Tamika Upton. She had 16 sprints over 20 k's an hour. So in fullback position, that is a huge amount, 330 odd metres in sprints. She was fantastic through the middle, as was Brigham Shaw. And Racine McGregor, you spoke about this, an unsung hero almost in that halves pairing. But she does what she needs to do to get the team around the park. And they were fantastic. Their bench came out really strongly. I was surprised they didn't use their entire bench earlier. However, proved to be correct in the end. And they've come up with the premiership for the 3rd year in a row. So congratulations. And they kept the Roosters scoreless in that second half, which I think Kelvin Wright, the coach, will be most pleased with.
Yes, well done to the Roosters though. That was a wonderful fight back. Tamika Upton scored after 3 minutes. Meg Ward scored after 5. And then Amber Hall after 8. So it was 12-0, and from that stage you thought, well, given Brisbane's superiority in this format of the game, they might go right on with this, but it was an excellent resurgence by the Roosters to make it 12-10 at half time, and just in the end Brisbane had a bit too much composure. Well, this is grand final intensity, and Lenarduzzi. The Roosters defending, you think, maybe for the game, and there's a great pass.
NRLW Season 3 comes to a close at a soaked Sydney Olympic Park, and a familiar story. The Brisbane Broncos, triple premiership winners now, 3 on the trot with a 20 points to 10 win over the Roosters. And it's time for the official presentation with Danica Mason.
Good afternoon, everyone. What an outstanding display of rugby league we have just witnessed in the women's NRL Telstra Premiership Grand Final. Congratulations to both the Sydney Roosters and the Brisbane Broncos on their performances. On stage with me is Rugby League Commissioner Megan Davis and NRL CEO Andrew Abdo. They join us on behalf of the game to thank all the female players and officials from all 4 teams in the NRLW and the sacrifices they have made this season. Thank you to our fans, and thank you to Telstra for powering our NRLW this season. I would like to acknowledge referee Belinda Sharp and touch judges Liam Kennedy and Drew Altram as well. Thank you. Now it is time to find out who our player of the match is to receive the Karen Murphy medal from her coach. Congratulations to Amber Hall.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank our Heavenly Father up above for blessing us with this opportunity to be out here, especially during COVID. I'd like to thank Telstra, our partners, also to the Roosters. What a good game, it was tough out there. And thanks to my team of the Bronx. And thank you to all our fans and all the Bronx fans back in Brisbane and all my family back in New Zealand. Yo!
Congratulations, Amber Hall. I would like to now invite our runner-up captain to the stage, Corbin McGregor.
Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land. Also, a huge congratulations to the Broncos. There's a reason you guys have been on top. You've been the stand-in for the last 3 years, and congratulations on a great win today. I want to thank Telstra. Thank you for supporting the women's game. You guys have been awesome. The NRL for backing us and making sure that we had a competition this year. Thank you very much. And lastly, to our Sydney Roosters sponsors, Kari, Ward, Steggles and Speckle, thank you also for your support. My Roosters girls, I'm really proud of you. We played with a lot of heart today. We're building for bigger and better things, so really proud of your efforts this whole season. Thank you.
Thank you, Corbin. I'd like to now invite the Broncos coach, Kelvin Wright, onto the stage now to help present the 2020 premiers with their rings. It now gives me great pleasure to welcome to the stage the 2020 Telstra Women's Premiership team, starting with the fullback. We have some wet weather issues here. Tamika Upton, Shanae Shizolka, Julia Robinson, Jamie Frezard, Meg Ward, Racine McGregor, Taryn Aiken, Millie Boyle, Lauren Brown, Shannon Mato, Amber Hall, Talisha Harden, Annette Brander, Jessica Elliston, Chelsea Lenarduzzi, Shantae Tamara, and the premiership winning captain, Aline Brigginshaw, who will be saying a few words after she collects her ring.
My breath. Firstly, I would like to thank the Sydney Roosters. What an effort. And when I say you're the informed team, you were by far the better teams in round 1 and 2. I thought you showed great courage and your team came together so well. Feeney did a great job with you. So congratulations for making it to the grand final. To the rest of the other teams, Dragons and the Warriors, thank you so much for sacrificing so much to be here. And to make this competition happen. I know a lot of people are away from home and had to be away from kids and family weren't here, so congratulations to both those two teams. To the referees, thank you, Belinda. You're paving the way for women in sport and you did a great job out there today. The NRL, thank you so much for making this opportunity happen. I know there was a lot of behind the scenes work. Tiff Slater, you did an amazing job in making this happen, and all of the girls that were out there today, mate, we really do appreciate what you have done. To our major sponsors, Kia, ASICS and Deadly Choices, National Storage, thank you so much for your support throughout the year. We wouldn't be the Brisbane Broncos without you. And finally, our team, the Brisbane Broncos, 3 years in a row. What a performance today. We had to dig deep. You know, the game plan didn't stick, but with the conditions, we showed how much this game means to us. Kelvin, you've done a great job once again. And 3 years in a row, baby!
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2020 NRLW Premiers, the Brisbane Broncos.